again. Welcome to my blog. Today we're going to talk about how to practice. And I'm going to give you some insight on how to be practical in your time of practice. So many people think that because they practice 1 hour, they're effective in their practice, but that's not necessarily true. I'm going to teach you that practicing slow in very small increments will help you becoming more effective. I'm going to take a little piece for violin. This is called La Bella Cubana. It's a Cuban piece, beautiful piece for violin, for two violins actually, by Jose White. And he has a passage that is very difficult. So I'm going to play a little bit a tempo, and then I'm going to teach you how to practice. Just a few bars I'm going to play. It sounds like this. Now, this is the first of all, in order to practice, you'll need one of this. This is called a metronome. You can find it in any music store. It should cost you between $20 and $30. It's a very good investment, and I highly recommend it to practice. And then the first thing I do, I practice bar, bar, bar. I set it up in 50, which is extremely slow. And then what I do is I keep it on 50, I don't move it from there. And then I play one beat per 16th note. So it would be like that. Like it would sound like this. One bar only. So I do that again a couple of times. If I need to do it four or five times, like that tempo, we'll do it just that bar. Don't move up from there. Then, what we're going to do is, we're going to do it twice as fast. The same bar. Again, ready? And then I do it a tempo. After 4 or 5 times, I do it a tempo. Now that actually is not a tempo, it's still slow, but now the quarter note is marking the beat. So that's what I mean. Still on the slow side, but much faster. Now to that, I will add the next bar. So now I'm going to do you notice that I play 1/16th notes per beat. And I did not move the metronome from its place. It's still on 50. Okay, so I'll be doing that about 4 times until I feel confident that now I'm able to double the tempo. So it would be like this. And I'll do it again. And then I double the tempo again. Now the quarter note is marking the beat now. Again. Now I go back to the original tempo and I add the third bar. So it would be like this. Then I do it about 4 or 5 times like that. Then I double the tempo from the beginning. I put it together with the previous 2 bars. Ready? And I do that about 4 or 5 times again. And then I keep adding another bar to the original 1 beat per note. So it would be like this. Again, and. So then I double the tempo. Then I do it about 4 or 5 times like that, and then I do it 1 beat, the quarter note marking the note, the beat. Now at this point, once you master the passage with the quarter note marking the beat, then you're ready to move the metronome to closer to the tempo, still not a tempo. So now we were in 50, now I'm moving it up to 60. Now of course I was rushing a little bit, but then that's part of the adjustment of moving the metronome, and that's normal. You need to do it several times again. And then, as you feel confident after 4 or 5 times like that, just that little block, then you move up the tempo again, your metronome. Now we're closer to tempo. Now I was a little off there. Let's try that again. Which that is pretty close to tempo. We are pretty much quarter note equals 80. And then I can still move it a little bit more. Now, this is pretty personal. Some people like it faster, some people like it slower. That's up to you. But let's start 92. That's where I have it. Now, another important thing that I wanted to want you to consider, and that's why I pick up this passage, is when we play 16th notes, you need to practice slow. But when you practice slow, you got to use the same amount of bow as if you were practicing or playing it a tempo. In other words, you will be doing a disservice to yourself if you practice this slow. Now, you want to be big in your bowing, but you want to be realistic too. Because when you pick up the tempo, you get faster. You're not going to do... It's going to sound really sloppy. So you want to use the exact amount of bow that you're going to use as if you were doing it a tempo, like this. So that will help you maximizing your practice. I hope this helped you becoming a better, more proficient in your instrument, whatever instrument, especially string instrument you play. And so send us an email, send us a note with your reaction to this and how is it working for you. You can always visit my website, www.jrbviolins.com. You can also visit me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at JRB Violins. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye.